Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, same here.
I am Eli. I'm a big data developer at Nielson. How
Okay.
are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Cool. Okay, we have 30 minutes. I will start with presenting myself and the company, tell you about the technologies that we are using and what the company does.
Okay.
Afterward, you will tell about yourself, about your experience, and I will ask few questions. Is this fine?
Yeah. It's fine.
Okay. I will start explaining about the company. Feel free to stop me if you have any questions.
Okay.
So Nielsen is a data company. We are generating data about users, and we use this data for advertising purposes.
Okay.
We sell the data to advertising companies. Let me give you an example. Our data called segment. Segment is a list of users that have a certain common trait. For example, all the users that love pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you have a pizzeria and you want to do advertising for people who love pizza, then you can use this data in order to reach to them. So this is very useful for companies that doing advertising.
Okay.
And we are using AWS services for all our components. We have a very large scale of data.
Okay.
We have dozens of terabytes that we are generating every day, thousands of EC2 nodes that are running Spark and all kinds of processing. We have millions of Lambda invocations every day. The monthly AWS cost that we are paying is around $500,000 every month. So you understand that this is a very large scale of data.
Mm-hmm.
And all our challenges are drive because of the large scale. For example, our components need to be scalable to scale up and down according to the traffic. They need to be cost effective because we don't want to pay a lot of money. Uh, they need to handle skew or all kinds of problems around a large scale of data.
Mm-hmm.
Regarding the technologies that we are using Apache Spark, Airflow, Kafka, Aerospike, Druid, AWS Lambda, and this is the main technologies that we are using.
Okay.
And any questions till now?
It's fine. It's like good amount of technologies being implemented.
Okay, cool. So please tell me about yourself, about your experience.
Yeah, so basically I'm Devjit Roy. I'm a senior software engineer at ENY. So at ENY, I'm having around 2.10 years of experience, and in total, I'm having around 6.10 years of experience. And prior to that, I worked in two companies. So first company was a startup. So it was like in education sector. So creating creating some form of tools. So we were using Toad tool and bird reporting tool. So we were using that. And in CGI, actually, we have worked in the banking domain project. So any enhancement kind of thing or CR kind of thing, which is being requested by clients to develop. So we were taking that, understanding the requirements with architect team, and we are moving ahead with the development. And currently at ENY, I have worked with three clients. So recent one was Wells Fargo. So we were implementing like a soft check related project. So basically, it's like after committing the code change before going for deployment, we have to check for vulnerability scan check, like what all vulnerabilities are there, like app adherence or is there, or different scans like black duck scans, secret scan, cloud mmr scans. So these scans we will be checking, and we will be seeing like the count of those vulnerabilities, like how many severities are there, like count of high severity count is what, it's one or two or zero. So based upon that, if it is a zero all the counts, then it will be allowed to move for harness deployment, and it will be like an express lane deployment. Otherwise it will be like a normal deployment, and then it will again go back to developer to make those changes, and then again it will start the deployment process. So this is the soft check application development which we have done as a POC, and we have integrated with their project, like they were having SCP policy service code base. So we were injecting our dependency, whatever the POC code we were written, so we were actually merging with their code. So these were the things we have done.
Mhm. Okay. Can you tell me about an interesting feature that you developed? What are the challenges in this feature, or what benefit he gave to the product and so on?
Yeah. So basically, they were having a lot of different scans actually. So there were multiple repositories and multiple services which were implemented by them. So they want us to integrate all of them together, and they have given some time for doing the POC before doing the integration. So actually, we were not directly interacting with database. So we were doing the interaction with their policy service code base. So it is like a third party API call. So we were getting the data out from there, and we are scanning through all those checks. For getting the result of the scan check, we have to understand like how many counts of high levels, medium level, critical vulnerabilities are there. So if there is like count is very much high, so it was very difficult for them to manage. So actually we have converted the data. We have whatever data were coming, we were putting it in the JSON format. We were getting the JSON format from them. We are getting all those counts data, and then our API actually giving them the result directly, whether it is pass or fail. So they don't have to implement it in different services again and again. Rather, they can use our endpoint to get the end result. Like if app adherence and vulnerability both are passed, then overall status will be passed. Like it is eligible now to go for express led deployment. So directly we can get the data whether it is pass or fail by calling our endpoint.
Okay, interesting. Can you tell me about an interesting production issue that you encountered and how you fixed it?
In the recent project, actually, we haven't worked upon production related issue. But prior to that, when I was in HSBC, a different client, so there actually we were working with production related issues. So whatever issues was there, actually we were looking it into the Splunk prod logs, and we were checking like exactly in which class level which error is coming. So in our code, actually, in all the controllers or service or repository layers, we were putting loggers everywhere. So wherever there will be like any issue is coming, so we can see that logger. Like if we are doing log.error, log.info, log.warn, we were adding all the loggers over there, and with that logger message we are directly searching. So we will get to know like where exactly the issue is coming. So if there is an exception coming, we can get to see that and we can resolve that, because we can't access DB details at production level. So we can see through DB only, through logs only. Whatever information is present in the logs, we have to work based on that.
Mhm. Can you give me an example of such an exception that you fixed?
Yeah. So basically, like constraint violation exception was common, then null pointer exception was common. So these type of things we were facing issues, and
Mhm.
basically we were not doing the conditional check, like whether the data was already present in DB or not. Then only we will have to enter and persist the data in DB. So those things we have gone through, and other type of issue we can see it in our local only while checking the data. So there will be like some common edge cases might have missed. So we have seen the logs and understood the issue and have fixed it.
Mhm. Okay, I got it. Can you tell me maybe about an initiative that you had, some your idea that you pushed to the team?
uh, My idea. So basically, after discussion with the architect team, so have taken the requirements, and after that we got to know that a few of the cases, it was like a long process of getting the data as per what client has requested from us. Like what are the ways to through which we can get the data in the response. So basically, we have requested, and after discussing with architect team, like this whole process can be reduced to a smaller extent, so that the efficiency will be improved and response time will be faster. So what all data structures we can make use of to make it faster, and how to reduce the lines of code. So those things we had a discussion based on it.
Mm. Okay, interesting. And another question, can you think of a project that you're working on right now that if you would start from scratch, building it from scratch, you will build it differently? What would you do differently?
Means what scenario we have to consider?
You take one of the product that you work on
Mm-hmm.
in your career, and if you would need to build it from scratch,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you will build it differently because of uh, problems that you encounter in the product that you think that if you will build it from new, you can avoid it. Do you
Mm-hmm.
have uh, such product that you think of?
Uh, Actually, we can optimize the query calls basically. So from repositories, actually, we have to make sure that solid principles have been followed, solid design principles, and we have to make sure that if we are using pagination and sorting technique, then we should not write that logic within a for loop, because we have to hit the db again and again, so it is like a very costly operation. So we have to fetch all the data at once, and then we have to apply our business logic to make changes on the data which is coming from the db. So those things we are thinking of. And then we can optimize the code much faster, so that the response time can increase. So for those, actually we have suggested to use hash map kind of things, because it is having very less time complexity. So those things we can think of. And apart from that, we have to store all those data, right, regarding that passwords and all, and the keyword secret, so that the data should not get leaked. So
Mhm. Okay, interesting. Another question about databases. Can you tell me, for example, let's take MySQL. Can you explain what is index in MySQL?
yeah, index is applied on the table columns in such a way that it increases the performance of the query operations. So with the help of indexing, actually we can do indexing on one column or a group of columns, and it will work in such scenarios when there will be like a huge millions of records in a db. So if we are doing this search operation or fetch operation, then it will become faster with the help of indexing.
Okay. Can you explain what is a view?
View, actually it's like a map part of a table. So it is not an exact table, but we can understand it like a mapped part of a table. Think of.
Mhm. I understand what you mean. Okay, cool. Another question about data structures. Can you name, let's say, three data structures and briefly explain about them?
Which data structure? Any?
Anything that you want. Just name three of them and explain about them.
Yeah, so data structures, basically it is having multiple types. Like first of all is collection framework. So it is having like list, queue, set, and then there is map, which has been not being kept as a part of collection interface, but it is a part of collection framework. So these are the main. Then apart from that, if we go to advanced data structure, then there will be like tree, graph, so DFS, BFS algorithms are there. So these are the things. So basically, we were in our project, we are making use of collection framework data. Like we have made use of list, we have made use of set, we have made use of map. So basically, we are focusing upon making use of map because it is having the least time complexity, and in worst case scenario, it is having O of n time complexity. But after Java 8, it has been reduced to O of log n, and because it gets converted to red black tree after a particular threshold of data getting reached. So map is a very good data structure, and whenever we have to do the search operation, we have to go for array list because it is index based searching, so it is faster. And whenever we are going for updation or modifying or deletion anything, then we have to go for linked list because it is not index based, it's memory based, so we don't have to shift all the position of the elements, so it is fast.
Mm. Okay, great. Can you name two design patterns and explain them?
Yeah, two design patterns mainly if we can focus upon. So there are two in creational. We have creational design pattern, behavioral design patterns are there, and structural design pattern. So creational design pattern, we have made use of like singleton design pattern and factory design pattern. So singleton design pattern is used when we have to create only one single object at any given point of time. So basically, it can be used in situation like if we are opening Gmail. So in Gmail, when we are sending mail to someone, then we have to use the feature of sent mail. So in that scenario, we don't have to create object for other features. So basically, singleton will be used, and during DB operation, we can make use of singleton. So basically, in that singleton, we have to make sure that it should be break free. So for that, we need to have a like private constructor, and we have to check like if reference is not null, then only. Otherwise, it will throw some exception like illegal argument exception we can throw, and then basically we can have that private static class name reference. Then we can have public static reference, and then within that we for multi-threaded environment we can do double check locking concept. Like if singleton reference is null, then within that we can synchronize the class, and then we can do double check. Like if reference is null, then only we can return the new instance, otherwise we are returning the existing reference only. So this is the singleton, and this can be broken using reflection, and while doing deserialization and while cloning we can break it, and we can resolve it also. If we are, for reflection we can make use of enum, or we can throw exception to resolve it. In case of deserialization, if we can see like there is an exception, that object data hash code will get changed, so new object will be created. So we can resolve that issue by overwriting read resolve method, and then returning reference from there. Okay, and for clone, actually we can throw clone not supported exception. So this way we can overcome this break. We can make break free singleton design pattern. Then comes like factory design pattern. So the factory design pattern, actually it is used for abstraction, so it creates a certain layer of abstraction, and it will be used when we have to hide our business logic from our client. And we can create one factory class separately, and but first we have to create one interface, then the classes implementing that interface, and then we have to create one factory class, and based upon that type, like what type data is there, so based upon that we can return that class instance. So we can make use of factory on that.
Mm. Great. Okay. Another question. Can you explain what is multithreading?
Yeah, multi-threading means when more than one threads are trying to acquire the lock on a certain resource, then multi-threading comes into picture. So we can create a class as a thread class for multi-threading when we are extending thread class, or by implementing runnable interface.
Okay. Can you explain what is context switch?
Uh, Context switching, basically it happens during the concurrency part. So basically when one thread is trying to acquire a lock on another on one resource, and it is basically switching like for one particular thread there are like multiple tasks, like 10 tasks are assigned to two threads. So one thread is having the capability to work upon the three tasks, and then second thread is working on two tasks. So let's suppose there is a switching, like one particular thread is working on first task, and then after a certain threshold of time it is switching to another task without completion of the previous task. So then it will hop to third task without completion of second. Then again round robin will happen. Again it will come to second. Then it will try to finish certain part. So it will do like context switching. So without finishing the task, it will try to hop to another task.
Great. Okay. Can you explain what is race condition?
Uh, Race condition happens when there are more than one thread which tries to modify the existing data which is getting saved in DB. So let's suppose one thread is coming and trying to modify certain lines, and second thread is coming and it is again modifying that line. So when a person will try to fetch the data and try to look at the values, so they will get some inconsistent output. Like if they are expecting first thread data, then it will not be able to see that because there is data inconsistency, so proper synchronization is not maintained. So
Okay, cool. Can you explain what is deadlock?
yeah, deadlock situation actually happens when one thread has created an object lock on one resource, and second thread has created object lock on another resource. But at the second thread actually will wait when first thread has released object lock, and first thread will wait for second thread to release the object lock, and both thread will wait for infinite period of time. So that situation will be the deadlock situation, and to resolve that we can make use of synchronized block and proper usage of synchronization, we can resolve this deadlock situation.
Mhm. Cool. Very good. Do you have any experience with AWS?
Uh, Not that much actually, because they were having they were having different team to handle for AWS part. So Microsoft Azure and AWS, they were working as a separate team. A DevOps team was there. So yeah.
Mhm. So did you work with another cloud provider or on on-prem machines?
Uh, Actually, they were working on the Microsoft Azure. So previously it was on on-prem. So basically they are migrating to Microsoft Azure Cloud Portal. So they are
Mhm.
doing configurations and making changes for transporting the data.
Mm, I see. Cool. Okay. Very nice. Those were all my questions. Do you have any questions for me?
Okay. So basically, what projects you all are working in as of now?
Okay, so the main project of the team that you interview for is the main component of the company that receives data
Hmm.
from certain providers. For example, companies that we are work with partners, or data that comes online, which are people that surf the web. So this component receives the data
Hmm.
from those two sources,
Hmm.
and what it does, it processes the data in order to infer the segments, the traits of those users. So, for example, if they like pizza, if they like Nike, if they male or female, where do they live, all kinds of traits in order to then sell this information to the advertising companies. So
Okay.
this component is right in Java. It's running on a lot of machine. This is a very big component in the pipeline, and it uses Aerospike database, which is a key value database,
Hmm.
very fast database. And also this component writes is result to Kafka
Hmm.
um, as a pub sub tool. And other than this, there are more projects that this team is work on, projects that are using the Airflow tool, if you're familiar with it, is a orchestration. They work with Spark,
Mm-hmm.
Apache Spark, which is a tool for processing large scale of data in a distributed way.
Mm-hmm.
And they are using AWS Lambdas, which are serverless um, serverless computation
Mm-hmm.
uh, um, tool. So they have very large stack and of technologies that they are working with.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it.
Any other questions?
No, this much only as of now.
Okay, cool. It was a pleasure talking with you today.
Yeah,
I
same here.
had a great time, and I wish you good luck. The HR company will tell you what is the rest of the steps.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, sure, no problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a nice day.
Okay, same to you. Bye.
Bye.